Dan Jackson starting inside, row number 2 in the 7, that's Bob Russinger to his outside, in the 5, Eli. Marty Steinbach. Starting inside, row number 3, the 22 machine of Nick Beckman to his outside, the 19 of Kyle Vanover. Starting inside, row number 4 in the 71, JJ, that's Mike Murray to his outside, the 10J of Jeremy Bolin. Off of corner number 4, Caden Murray's got the green flag in hand. We're gonna light the wick and get tonight underway. A1 Iron Stock Cars Heat Race number 1 coming at you like this. Gary Laughlin with a great advantage off of corner number 2. Leads him down the back straightaway. Dan Jackson, Marty Steinbach looking to the inside of Jackson off of corner number 4. Give lap number 1 to Gary Laughlin. Battle starting to shape up back in the pack. Kyle Vanover looking to gain some ground. He just got around the 22 of Beckman, and he's looking for a way to make it by the 5 Eli of Marty Steinbach. The 19 machine of Vanover really liking the low line as he's going to seal the deal off of corner number 4, and they touch down the front stretch. Laughlin hanging on to the lead in this one as Vanover takes over the second spot. Good battle shaping up for third. Dan Jackson liking the low side against that 5 Eli off of corner number 4. It's going to be a dead heat down the front straightaway. Give the advantage to Steinbach rolling through 1 and 2. Dan Jackson with a little bit of slip of the grip. That's going to set him back to that 4th spot.
Gary Laughlin, Kyle Vanover, they'll get the signal. 6 laps left to go. Heat race number 1. In your A1 Iron Stock Cars, Marty Steinbach holding on to that 3rd spot. Dan Jackson in a 4th. Your top 5 will round out with a 7 of Bob Rusinger, but he's under fire.
Of course, all cars moving along to your feature tonight in your A1 Iron Stock Cars. That doesn't change the battle shaping up for the 5th spot. Beckman wants it, but he's going to have that slide off of corner number 4, and that's going to seal the 5th spot away to Bob Rusinger. As Gary Laughlin continues to lead this one, he's got a lot of company coming right behind him in the 19 of Kyle Vanover, making that distance about 4 car lengths down the front straightaway. As that time by, they brought it down to 5 to go.
5 laps left to go. Gary Laughlin doing a great job holding off Kyle Vanover in that beautiful blue number 19. 3 laps left to go. 3 rotations around Eagle Raceway to seal heat race number 1 win. Battle still for 3rd. Marty Steinbach's got it. Dan Jackson fighting hard.
Oh, I see how it is. Kyle Vanover changes the paint scheme. You all of a sudden forget what he wrote on that bus last year.
Oh, I have not forgotten.
Gary Laughlin, Kyle Vanover trying to shrink the distance as they make another way around. It's going to come down to about 3 car lengths. The battle really starting to shape up here as that battle for 3rd. As you begin to see Marty Steinbach trying the low side on Dan Jackson. Jackson holds the advantage down the backstretch. Steinbach's going to try it up high. White flags out, 1 lap to go for your A1 Iron Stock Car Heat Race number 1. Battling back in the pack between Rusinger and Beckman. Beckman really liking the low side. Russinger's going to stick it right in the middle. Give the advantage to Beckman down the backstretch as Gary Laughlin's going to pick up A1 Iron Heat Race number 1. Kyle Vanover with a close second. And rounding out the top 3 is going to be the 3 a.m. of Dan Jackson.
Don't forget on your weekly out and abouts, don't get your Rotella's Italian Bakery buns at the grocery store. Save yourself money. Head to 108th and Harrison and get yourself Rotella's Italian Bakery buns to wrap your delicious meats. On his outside, the 29, that's going to be John Meyer.
And rounding out the field in the 21X machine, that's going to be John Anderson. John Anderson, a long-time runner around the area. Been a little while since we've seen him in a stock car.
We've got an extra car out there.
We got an extra car out there.
The 77 JJ was supposed to be in the last heat race. Looks like he's made his way into this one.
Shuffle the lineup just a little bit. We're going to send the green flag out on heat race number 2, brought to you by A1 Iron. Nate Thompson with a good advantage through 1 and 2. Jeremy Down dips to the low side. He wants to get a piece of this first place action. You've got Thompson up high, down low through 3 and off of 4. Give the advantage right now to Jeremy Down, leading lap number 1. Nate Thompson not giving up on the high line. Oh no, hang on to it, Jeremy. Jeremy Down's going to keep it straight and hang on to the lead.
As Jeremy Down came back up the racetrack from collecting his car, Dylan Richards got tagged by him. And then I believe Richards and Thompson made contact, and Richards hit the outside wall hard. He's falling back to 4th. as now John Anderson's made his way up into the second spot. Nate Thompson back to third. Richards back on the move down the backstretch.
What a solid run for John Anderson, starting shotgun on the field, already working his way up to second, definitely keeping his eyes peeled towards the competition with that earlier race activity.
I'm really interested to see how that 24R continues to develop with 6.5 laps to go. Looks like it's holding on fine, but that was a hard impact. You could see the rear wheel with some damage to it. We'll see if that develops as the race goes on. A little bit of a whoop going into turn number 1, but Jeremy Down, like he did last week, continues to lead in heat race number 2.
A little bit of a whoop. Would you say that's where it is?
I would say that's where it is.
Whoop, there it is.
Let me hear you now.
Anyways, after we get through with that, back to the racing action. Jeremy Down hanging on to the lead in that 6 machine. Dylan Richards holding on to the second spot with John Anderson rounding out your rounding out your top 3. John Meyer holding down the 4th spot. Nate Thompson 5th with a quick challenge from Travis Patterson. Oh, look out, Nate! I'm thinking that early race contact may have played a little bit of a factor. As you can see, some heavy damage to Nate Thompson. The hood's gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Damage to the left front fender. Tough break for the 3T.
Leaders coming up on lap traffic. Dylan Richards starting to work over the 6 of Jeremy Down. They're going to have the 71 JJ of Mike Murray right in front of him. Jeremy Down's going to look to his inside, and Murray might slow down Richards. No, Richards going to dive to the inside. He'll get a good run off the corner. 2 laps left to go for Jeremy Down and Dylan Richards.
Dylan Richards really liking the low line in that 24R machine. Jeremy Down perfectly content to keep it right there in the middle, but he better keep a close eye over his shoulder as Richards continues to gain on that spot as Caden Murray throws out the 1 flag one more time around. If Richards wants it, it's now the time to charge.
Final time, white flag is out for Jeremy Down, Dylan Richards, John Meyer, Travis Patterson, and John Anderson. That's your top 5. Out of turn number 4, Jeremy Down, 2 weeks in a row, gets the win. Dylan Richards brings it home in second. Your third place finisher will be the 29 of John Meyer.
Race fans, don't forget, H&M Trucking has been doing things right since 1987. For clients, that means the confidence to trust them with any project. And for drivers, it means being part of an organization who invests in your value. Gary Dominguez pacing the field in your Nebraska Realty Pace car. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, Gary Dominguez and the gang at Nebraska Realty can surely help you out. Remember, kids, to join the Junior Fan Club, you can register to win a ride in the Nebraska Realty Pace car. All right, race fans, A feature time getting ready to come at you. Gary Laughlin and Dan Jackson are going to bring it to you. Gary Dominguez brings it to the infield, and the green flag is out. Let's go racing feature time for your A1 Iron stock cars.
A little bit of a bobble there for, we got cars around, entry to turn number 1. Will it stick? Will it stick? No, caution is out.
John Anderson kind of got the toughest break on that one. That 21X would not refire. He's going to have to join at the rear of the field. Tough break for John Anderson. I believe it's his first time out here at Eagle Raceway this year.
Yep, you're right. That is a full restart. Eagle Raceway, get him up, get him up, get him up. Take a drink. We're a little behind tonight. We're only at 4. Not
Don't
a bad
say that.
thing. I know, you're right. I shouldn't jinx it. Marty Steinbach pulling off the racetrack. His night is done.
Oh, I wish I'd have been looking a little bit closer at that. I wonder if that was a flat tire or what the deal was. Sounds like he's taking it over trailer side.
Marty Steinbach joining the field again. He's up in the Valco Racing Wheel staging area. Well, that wasn't quick enough to change a tire.
All right, green flag's back out. 18 laps to go for your A1 Iron stock cars. Gary Laughlin liking the low line. Dan Jackson with a lot of speed up top. He's going to take Bob Rusinger right along with him.
You know, one of my biggest fears in racing is that I have to interview Dan Jackson after a race, but I would love to see him win a race Dan Jackson's been so close the last couple of years at Eagle Raceway. He's leading on lap number 2, but here comes Kyle Vanover.
Yeah, Vanover with the strongest run down the back straightaway. He's gonna look low on the 7 machine of Bob Rusinger and try and get low on Dan Jackson to the line. Dead heat.
At the line, Dan Jackson officially still led, but he pushed in the middle and wanted to. Now Kyle Vanover takes over the race lead. Bob Rusinger looking to take over second from Jackson.
Jackson gonna hang on to it this time by as Beckman starts to set his sights on the 7 machine of Bob Rusinger. And look out, here comes last week's feature winner in the 24R, Dylan Richards, looking to make the low line work as Kyle Vanover continues to lead as he comes off of corner number 4 for 14 to go.
Kyle Vanover, Dan Jackson, Bob Rusinger. Then it's Nick Beckman and Dylan Richards. That's your top 5. What? John Anderson up to 6th after bringing out the caution just a few laps ago.
I know you've heard that name a time or two before. John Anderson, a long-time runner in a lot of different race cars around the area, and he's going to show that expertise.
Flat tire for the 6 of Jeremy Down. Car around turn 2, I believe, as the caution is out. The 10J of Jeremy Bolin bringing out our caution. So a lot happening in the last lap and a half. Jeremy Down with a flat tire took it off the racetrack. Marty Steinbach retired 1 lap after rejoining the field. Big thanks to everybody for joining us tonight at the racetrack. H&M Trucking bringing us our racing along with Rotellus.
$13 to go. Kyle Vanover leading them right now down the front straightaway. Vanover, Jackson, Rusinger, Beckman, Richards, and John Anderson in 6th. Anderson trying the low side. He wanted to make it a 3-car dance. Gonna force Dylan Richards up high. We'll look at this battle going on. Vanover's checked out in front. Dan Jackson's hanging on to 2nd. It gets real racy.
Throwing elbows all night long. Dylan Richards takes over the 3rd spot.
Look out, here comes a challenge from Bob Rusinger. Nope, Richards is gonna seal that deal. 11 laps to go this time by for the 19 machine of Kyle Vanover, Dan Jackson, and Dylan Richards looking to be part of that party. Beckman's gonna try the low dive bomb for the 4th spot.
Dylan Richards looks low underneath Jackson down the backstretch. Richards has got the nose. Low side turn 3, slides up the racetrack, kisses the cush. Jackson fights back. No, Dylan Richards is gonna take over the 2nd spot. 10 laps left to go. Kyle Vanover all on his own.
Great battles going on throughout the field. Once again, they're still battling back there for the 5th spot. Look at John Anderson. Gets around Beckman. He's going to try and set his sights on Rusinger for 3rd.
Anderson is there. Low side. Slides up the track. Slide job. Crossover move. A little bit of a kiss to the bumper. John Anderson's got the spot. Rusinger now under fire from the 22 of Beckman.
I tell you what, that slide job nearly didn't work. We could really have a 3-car bunched up battle. But this time by, it's going to be 7 laps remaining for Kyle Vanover.
Bolin goes around all by himself, middle of turns 3 and 4. Caution is out. Caution is out on the speedway. Man.
Did you mention there's a caution?
I'm excited for this caution. Because now there's a jerk in the front of the field that's going to get a real battle from a nice young man. All right, so I'm just kidding around. Kyle Vanover with the race lead. This is going to be a great battle between him and Dylan Richards. Richards picked up the Hobby Stock Championship last year, picked up the win last week in the stock cars. Looking to make it 2 weeks in a row. Green flag is out.
8 laps to go. Get ready for a battle. Vanover goes high. Richards is going to stay right in his tire tracks off of corner number 2. Good battle for 3rd. Anderson and Jackson. Couple of presidents going at it. Beckman sitting idly by, waiting for one of those two to get a little too antsy. as the field rolls by for 7 to go.
Richards, his front end kind of broke loose in the middle of turn 4 last time, and that allowed Vanover to really carry his speed off the corner. Vanover just so smooth on the high side out of turn 4. 6 laps left to go.
6 laps to go for the 19 machine. Vanover's hanging on to it. Richards trying to give everything that he can to try and close that gap. Anderson seals 3rd, Jackson 4th. Beckman rounding out your top 5. Beckman never satisfied. He's going to keep on looking for more as Nate Thompson tries to get in on the battle.
Kyle Vanover, Dylan Richards, John Anderson, a little bit of contact for 4th. Beckman trying a slide job on Jackson. Jackson crossed him back over and took the spot back. Four laps left to go. Now 3.5 laps to go as Kyle Vanover takes it down the backstretch. Last time by, Richards was a 10th faster. That's not going to be enough. He's got 3 laps left to catch the 19 of Kyle Vanover. All right, now that may have been fast enough. Yellow is out.
Oh, is that a drive shaft? Is that drive shaft or a side skirt? I just see something long, narrow, and wide. I immediately think
James.
Drive shaft.
That is, yeah, it looks like it might be a side skirt. Either way, I think that spelled bad news for Dylan Richards. He was just starting to gain his momentum and get that car working right. He knocked 3/10 off a much faster lap than Kyle Vanover last time by, but I think now, by the time Dylan gets that car underneath of him, it's going to be all she wrote.
I think you may be right on that.
I hope I'm wrong, because I really enjoy Dylan Richards. And
well, I tell you what, we're going to know here in about 3 laps, and after this battle, we're going to draw your 50-50 winners. All right, back at it. 3-lap war to settle the score. Kyle Vanover, Dylan Richards, John Anderson, Dan Jackson, and Nick Beckman, your top 5. Vanover has the advantage by about a car length and a half over Richards. Richards going to try to do it just a little bit lower. Vanover's going to hang on to it that time off of 4. 2 laps remaining.
Richards just a little too hard into turn 3 that time. Now we'll see him close the distance into turn 2. Out of turn 2, down the backstretch, Vanover pulls away. Oh, here we go. Richards is sneaking to the inside. Great battle in your A1 Iron stock cars. Richards is there. Final lap. James, bring us home.
All right, Dan, I tell you what, I will bring it home. Kyle Vanover up high, Dylan Richards down low. Slider through 3 and 4.
They touch. Oh, no. Kyle Vanover gets the win.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
Me neither. To say I was speechless is not what we should have been. Great try for Dylan Richards. You can't say the kid didn't try. But great crossover move from Kyle Vanover, and he's going to bring home the win. And John Anderson brings it home in 3rd.
How about that run for John Anderson? After being